All right, so this is Will, and it looks like nobody's here at the moment, which is fine and dandy because I'm currently traveling and I'm testing out a temporary setup for live streaming. And I kind of want to just see how it goes. I did not, and I kind of want to just see how it goes. I did not schedule this live stream in advance because I wasn't sure how it was going to work with the setup and where I'm located and the equipment and the internet and all of that. But I thought I'd give it a try. And so I'm going to do some free tarot readings today. Probably not a lot of them because this is just sort of a surprise little test of my current setup. Hi. Karen, I think I'm seeing here, and Drift King. Hello. Welcome, welcome. I was just saying that I'm currently traveling, and so I'm just testing out a new live stream setup where I am. And I thought I'd just pop on and do a couple of readings tonight and see how it goes. So I hope that my audio's okay and that my internet's holding up. This is the first time I've live streamed from my current location. Card reading, so I'm not going to do general readings today because I would need more space to do more cards. And with the current setup, I think I can only fit like 3 in the camera. I guess if we really got pressed, I could just do it anyways, even though not everything would show up on screen, which wouldn't be my preference, but I'd still be able to see it all. Okay. So Taryn, we can start with you, and then we'll do Drift King, and then Marion. And my plan today is just to do like maybe 3 or maybe 5 readings at the most. So we'll just kind of see how things go. But let's start with Taryn, and then Drift King, DK, and then Marion. So Taryn, if you'd like to post a question, I can do a 3-card reading for you today. Hope everybody's doing well, having a nice week. Okay, so we've got the question from Taryn now. Their partner. They want to know their partner's feelings and when will she try to contact them. Currently a no contact on off kind of situation. So I'm getting the sense that you dated this person, maybe there's a breakup or a separation, but you sort of come back together and then you break up again. It's that kind of on and off again dynamic. And you're wondering when this person is going to be contacting you. So it's a timing question. And so when I do timing questions, I like to build the timing right into the question. So why don't we lay 3 cards out and ask, is Chitra going to attempt to contact you in, shall we say, 1 month? Within, by the beginning of July. Why don't we start with that? Will Chitra attempt to contact Taryn in the next month? or so. So I'll lay 3 cards down for that, and we'll see what we get. Okay, we're starting with the Magician. The Magician to the Ace of Coins to the Page of Wands. And so I should say, because tarot, and I don't think I read for you before, whenever I'm reading the tarot, I do my best to read directly and accurately based on what I really see in the cards, as opposed to like just trying to tell people what they want to hear. So I'll do my best here to read directly what I see in the cards. So with the Magician, we see someone who's looking back, right? Looking to the left, which I would see as looking towards the past. With the Page of Wands, we see someone who's looking forward, looking to the right, looking towards the future, right? So my initial thought is to say, I think there's a good chance that this person will reach out to you in the 1 month period. And I'll tell you why. Um, at the moment, I think they're sort of thinking about the past. They're looking back to the past. And maybe they're realizing that they were a little bit hard to deal with. Like maybe they were a little tricky, or maybe they weren't totally honest and straightforward in everything that they were doing. That's what I would think with the Magician. The Ace of Coins gives me a sense of new beginnings, new potentials, starting something that's beneficial to one's well-being, uh, starting it new or starting it over. It could mean that as well. And the Page of Wands, I think of often in terms of a message. Pages are messengers, right? In the tarot. And so here I would think probably of an electronic message of some kind because it's wands, which makes me think of fire, which makes me think of electricity. And so I think there's some introspection. This person is being introspective. They're thinking about the past and maybe wondering if they could have done things any differently. They're going to be feeling a sense of new potential, like something could be invested in again, like they could invest themselves in you again, or be interested in you metaphorically investing yourself in them again. I see there's some glare on the cards from the overhead light, so let me move that down. Maybe that's better. And then I would think a message, right? A message probably like well, a text is the first thing that comes to mind 'cause if it's like a digital message. A message through fire, right? Would be the Page of Wands there. So, what do you think of that, Taryn? Does that seem possible? Forecast as opposed to a prediction. So, in other words, I wouldn't say absolutely 100% this is going to happen. I'm saying based on what's the current situation is, this seems likely to happen. But it can all change in the same way that our feelings can change, our minds can change, the weather can change. We all have free will. There are lots of variables. And so um, we can't say with 100% certainty, of course, but that's what these cards are telling me. Someone looking back and thinking about how maybe they were kind of tricky, sensing a new potential, a new beginning that could begin, and then sending a fiery or digital electronic message. All right. So, welcome to anyone who might be joining. My name is Will, and I'm doing just a few free tarot readings today. I have a new setup. I'm currently away from home, and I just wanted to test out that new setup by doing a couple of readings. I've just read for Tarun, and I think next on my list is Drift King. If you are here, and I am planning also, just so everybody knows, to only do short 3 card readings today. Sometimes I will pull out cards and do like a 9-card general reading or month ahead spread, but today I'm just planning on doing more focused 3-card readings um, for today's little session. And I also, just so everybody knows, and I'm totally upfront, I'm not going to go for like 2 or 3 hours like I have in previous sessions, which is why I didn't schedule this in advance. I'm just sort of popping on to test out my setup and hope that my internet holds up. Okay, so our question from Drift King, and you're very welcome, Taryn. I hope that you get a text from her. All right, so our question from Drift King is, I'm a Libra and Annabelle is a Gemini. My question is Annabelle spying on my Instagram and we contact me? Okay, so it's sort of 2 questions. Why don't we ask the first question? Is she spying or lurking on your Instagram? And then let's just, I think I'm going to limit it today to just 1 question per person because I'm already seeing lots of folks in the chat, which I'm very glad about. Welcome, everyone. Hello. But for time's sake, and so that folks don't have to wait too long, I'm going to limit it just to 1. So let's ask, is Annabelle spying or lurking on Drift King's Instagram? And we will lay out 3 cards to answer that question. Hope everyone is having a nice day. If you're just joining, my name is Will. I'm doing some free tarot readings. Just 1 question, 3-card sort of quick readings today. I'm testing up a new live streaming setup because I'm away from home and I just wanted to see if it works out okay. The internet is not as good as my home internet, and everything's just a little bit different. So I just wanted to see how it would go. All right, so we're going to pull 3 cards to ask, is Annabelle spying on Drift King's Instagram page? Let's see what we get. Ten Cups. Interesting. This could be too many emotions. Lots and lots of emotions floating around. King of Batons, trying to maintain power over one's impulses. So my first thought here is to say that she very, very much wants to lurk and spy on your Instagram and is doing everything she can to resist that urge, that impulse. There's lots and lots of feelings floating around, like an excess of them, too many of them. And she has these underlying impulse to like internet spy on you, right? Ooh, the devil. The devil shows up. So this makes me think that she's not able to keep the impulse under control, right? And it gets out. So this makes me think that she's not able to keep the impulse under control, right? And it gets out of hand. So I would think there's a good chance, yes, that she is in fact looking at your Instagram, social media. She does not want to, but she feels like an impulse to, like, just keeps sort of poking at her and gnawing at her, and so she can't resist even though she's trying really, really hard. So it's like all these feelings, it's too much, trying to keep them under control in the way that a king has power and control over their impulses. That's the fire of the batons, right? But I think it gets out of hand. The devil sort of breaks through, metaphorically speaking, and the desire to do something she doesn't really want to do is overpowering. And so that's what would make me think that, yes, probably she is looking at your Instagram. So keep that in mind next time you are posting, Drift King. Marion, if you are here, you are the next on my list. Okay, and Marion wants to know, will M approach me this summer? You're welcome, Drift King. It's always interesting to see the devil popping up like that. So, Marion, can I ask, this person, M, is this someone you have a crush on, or someone you've dated in the past, or just a friend, or like, what is your connection to this person, M? Just so I have a little more context. Someone you had a crush on. All right, so let's see if this person has a crush on, is going to contact them, reach out to them, say something this summer. We'll just pull 3 cards for that. All right, here we go. Will they reach out this summer? So let's say by like the end of August, June, July, August, around then, or before. All right. 8 cups. So this can be lots of people involved. This can be a good environment. Ooh, making a decision. This card is like you've realized you need to do something, take some action. Not you, the other person, right? The crush. And the Chariot. Well, the Chariot is about someone successfully taking some action, moving forward, and doing something. So I would read this as saying, whatever situation your crush is in right now, there's like lots of people around them, right? If you think about each of these little cups could represent a person. This could almost be a card that represents like a party or a gathering or a ceremony or some celebration or something like that, where people are getting together and they're having a good time, right? You can imagine a bunch of people all gathered together and they each have a cup of wine or beer or something like that, right? And they're having a good time, they're enjoying themselves. And amidst all of that, like maybe having a good time over the summer, this sword pops up. And the sword is not the most comfortable of suits because the sword is sharp and the sword can cut and poke and annoy and prod and all of this kind of stuff. And with the sword popping up, it means something has to happen, right? I need to do something. I've decided that I need to take some action, do something, make a decision, something like that. And so one could try to resist that. Or with the chariot, I would say they're going ahead with it. They're realizing, I should do that. I should take that, right? I should drive forward. I should move forward with this new idea that's come up to me. And so I think there's a good chance that they are actually going to reach out to you, given the question that we posed. Um, so I would be hopeful of that. I think that whatever's going on in their life, they are probably just kind of low key enjoying themselves right now. But that's going to change, right? At some point over the summer, they're going to realize they don't just want to play around. They're going to realize they don't just want to play around. They don't just want to, you know, drink beer at a party or whatever it might be. They want to move on from that, right? The chariot is about movement and taking action, making progress, right? And so my inclination would be to say, I think there's a good chance they are going to, like, maybe if they've been sort of shy or introverted or something like that, that they're going to decide to take some different path, right? Take a different road forward with the chariot by the end of the summer. Cool. So I hope that that comes true, Marianne. I've got my fingers crossed for you. That would be really fun. Let me check my list here. Seed, I think I've got you next. And then B. And then Queen Bean. So if Luminous Starseed is here, I will do a reading for you. I'm just doing, for anyone who might just be joining, I'm just doing one question per person and just 3 card readings today. I'm testing out a new live streaming setup because I'm away from home and I wanted to sort of hop on YouTube here and test this out and see how it works. So Luminous Starseed, there you are. I see you. What intentions does my partner Anthony have towards me, Jessica, and the relationship overall when he sees our finances improving in the near future? We live together. Okay, so you currently live together. Is that right? You currently live together? So we'll lay out 3 cards for Luminous Starseed. All right, Luminous Starseed. So let's see. We're going to see, what does your partner Anthony think towards you and their relationship overall? Okay, 6 wands for Luminous Starseed. So, first off, this makes me think of people working together, right? Like you carry 3 of the wands, and he, Anthony, carries 3 of the wands. You're collaborating, you're working together, good things are happening. If you work together, you can be victorious. This is what he's thinking, right? That as long as the partnership is maintained and it's collaboration, it's collaborative, right? That you can have success with the relationship. Page of coins, you mentioned something about money coming in, like a new stream of income and or like a new job or something like that. Finances improving. The page of coins showing up would corroborate that something practical like money could be time or energy or like rearranging the house or organizing things, something like that. But it's something practical, something you can like, it's tangible, right? And the page would indicate that it's a new beginning, a new potential, sort of like the ace would indicate. The ace of coins would indicate that, or something similar as well. The fact, though, that we do have a page as opposed to, like, say, the king of coins would indicate that it is new. And so there's a sense of like it still needs to grow more, it still needs to be nurtured. It's like there's still a lot to learn, still a lot of work to do, all of that kind of stuff. But there is a potential for something good and great to grow from it. And 7 coins would suggest that he's expecting that to happen, right? We've got 2 little coins on the page of coins card, and they're growing up into 7 bigger coins over here on the 7 of coins. So, um, there's a sense that the practical side of the relationship is on the road to improvement, growing, getting better. Like maybe you're able to save money together or moving in together or something like that. Uh, and with the 7, that suggests a kind of, it could be an obstacle or more likely, I think in this case, a kind of transition period, right? Where there's a recognition that there still is a lot that needs to be done, right? Like a lot of sort of work that needs to be done, practical kind of work that needs to be done in order for the relationship to grow and become stable and solid and all of that. But there's a sense that it's promising, right? Like there's reason for optimism on that front, right? So that's what I would say. Working together, there's a great sense that the practical side of the relationship is definitely on the road forward towards improvement. So, luminous star seed. What do you think of that? Does that jive with your ideas? And B, you, I believe, are the next person in the chat who requested a reading. Yeah, so okay, you've barely started living together. It's all fresh in the new household. I think there's a feeling here with the 6 of wands that like it's going well so far, you're working together, that other people are recognizing that you've done something and it seems to be working, right? Because with the 6 of wands, I also think of public recognition, like other people are noticing that you've moved in together and that you're starting this life together and all of that. There's probably a little bit of a feeling of strain on the finances because always with the page, I think like, with the king, it's like there's plenty of money. We got all the money we need, right? With the page, it's like you're just kind of starting out, right? And so you need to save and work and all of that. But seeing then the 7 here, um, makes me think there's great reason to be optimistic about the practical side of the relationship. So that's great. Luminous Starseed says we're working on improving our finances and heading towards saving and reaching our goals as a couple. That's awesome. And that is exactly what I see played out here with those three cards, that it's something new, but you are saving, growing, building, and doing it collaboratively, working together. Wonderful. So, B, if you are here, I can do a reading for you. All right. And B wants to know. You're welcome, Luminous Starseed. Very welcome. B wants to know, will R contact me this month? Okay. So, Hoao, you've been asking a couple times in the chat for a reading. I'm just scrolling up to see. I'm asking folks to request a reading by typing one time in all caps, please add me to the list. That way I can easily see it in the chat. And I've posted that in the description and in the pinned message at the top of the chat. So let's see. B, I would have Queen Bean would be next, who's requested. And then Joao Pedro Costa Calasa. Even though you didn't request by doing all caps, I can add, but you will have to wait, right? You have to wait your turn. Okay, so where were we? We were asking B's question, will R contact me this month? Okay, so was this a crush or a former love interest or just a friend? B, how do you know R? Just so I have a little more context. And welcome to anyone who might be joining. My name is Will. I'm doing a few tarot readings today. I'm just doing 3 card readings only today, and just one question per person. So I'm only going to pull 3 cards per person today. I'm trying to test out, well, I am testing out this new live streaming setup. I'm currently away from home, and so I wanted to see if I even could live stream, and it seems to be working okay. I know the internet is not as good, and so sometimes the camera frame rate is sort of freezing a little bit, but hopefully it holds out so that I can stream, because I will be here for like 3 weeks. And so I was really hoping that I'd be able to live stream, and it seems like I can. So good news. Okay, B says this is a former lover. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so is this former lover of B's going to try to make contact, message, send a DM, email, call, whatever it might be, in about a month? That is our question, and we will lay out 3 cards for that. Let's see what we get. Okay, we're starting off with 4 swords, and so this makes me think that your person is sort of secluding themselves, withdrawing, putting up a fence around themselves, right? Some restrictions, some boundaries up around themselves. I would sort of metaphorically read them as being this flower growing with the swords around them, keeping all the other little flowers away, right? So what happens next is judgment. Well, that's waking up again, right? Here they're kind of asleep, withdrawing. Judgment, they hear the call, so to speak, and they rise up out of the abyss. Anytime I see judgment, I always notice the horn or trumpet, whatever instrument you'd like to call this, that the angel is holding. And I think of hearing hearing something, hearing someone's voice, hearing music, depending on the context. Here, I might think hearing like your voice. And Knight of Coins. This makes me think they're wanting to figuratively invest themselves again. I'm thinking of like putting a coin in an old payphone, that kind of image, right? It's to like make a phone call so you can hear each other. So I think there's a good chance that even though they're withdrawing, they're putting up restrictions, they're not making contact with anyone now. That would be this card, that they're going to sort of wake up from that, and I would think maybe call you, right? But nowadays people don't call very often, so it might turn out to be more like a text message or a DM or something like that. But this card indicates waking up, like coming alive from the dead again, that kind of thing, trying to have a revelation, a realization that something should be different, right? And then the one other thing I think is this night is very, very slow. It's the slowest of the nights. It's the Knight of Coins. And so that makes me think we did say 1 month, and we built that 1 month timer into the question. But seeing the slowest of the nights here makes me think that he might be slow to act. And so I'm thinking it would come at the very end of the month, or like maybe even delayed beyond the 1 month that we'd stated for the question. This night like doesn't move very quickly, right? And so it might take him a while to actually do the thing that he's going to realize he needs to do or wants to do, right? So I'm going to say, I think, yes, that it is likely you will hear from this person. It may not be within the 1 month period, but I think like if he can sort of get rid of some inertia and get moving, metaphorically speaking, like get this horse to gallop instead of walk, so to speak, that you would be likely to hear from him. Yeah. Could be, yeah, if he's going through some bad times. I mean, this card is about needing to sort of cut other people out of your life in order to do the right thing for yourself, right? So this is about isolating, withdrawing, resting, climbing in bed and watching Netflix and ordering a pizza, alone usually, right? Because I think that this person feels right now they need to do that for their own well-being, for their own good, right? So I hope that you do get a chance to hear from this person. I think they're going to, at some point, eventually, slowly have this realization that they need to be back with people again. And so I would think you would likely be one of those people. Okay, so Queen Bean, I think I have you next on the list. If you are here, Queen Bean, go ahead and post your question. While I give the cards a shuffle. Okay, and Queen Bean's question is, how does my crush feel about me? This is a no contact. So someone you are interested in, but you're not currently talking to them or seeing them or anything like that. All right, so we'll lay out 3 cards and see what does this person think of you, Queen Bean. Got it. Queen Bean says it's a complicated history, but never dated or expressed your interest before to this person. So, what do they think of you? We will lay out 3 cards. Let's see what we get. Okay. So, 6 cups is always a nice sign. I think of this as meaning continuity and a relationship, right? It can also mean memories of the past, right? Especially when we see it at the beginning of a 3 card spread on the left side, thinking about the past. So, we'll see what we get with the next couple cards. Is someone who is trying to or has already been able to maintain some control and power over their material well-being, right? Like their money, their work kind of situation. This can also mean, because I think with coins, I think of investing, right? Coins are exchanged, we invest them, we spend them, that kind of thing. And so this is someone who's like got the coin of investment in their hand, but are they going to spend it? They could, but are they going to? And then 8 wands. So 8 wands means things moving very quickly. It can also mean needing to follow the rules, that success will only happen if one metaphorically follows the rules. So I'm trying to think about that in the context of your specific question. You said it's a complicated history, and so like here's what I'm thinking. Like if there was an agreement in the past that 2 people said, "Okay, we've had this complicated history, and I don't think we should talk to each other for a year," right? And so then that would be the rule, right? The rule that's been established would be we're not going to talk to each other for a year. And so then I would think, well, this person is going to follow that rule. They're going to keep to the pre-established guideline that has been set up, and they're not going to reach out, invest their metaphorical coin until the rule has sort of expired, right? Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what you've got with this person, and sometimes the rules are more implied than explicitly stated. But here's like another way I could think of it. If there's an implied sense that you two are not supposed to talk to one another, right? Like, I don't know, maybe this person dated your friend in the past and then it got complicated and weird, and so then there's sort of an unspoken agreement that like, well, they can't talk to you, right? Because that would violate whatever they were able to patch together with the third party. Then the unspoken rule there would be that they are not going to talk to you, right? And this card popping up says they're going to follow the rules. So then I would say I wouldn't expect them to reach out to you, right? So So I guess I might need a little more context to say with certainty. The sense I'm getting is like having very good feelings about you and like wanting to take a step forward, like take this path of happiness forward, but being resistant of something that has to do with this complication that I don't know all the details from, but it's like there's this X, this like no that's saying there's a rule against this or something, right? So Queen Bean says, all that is good. I wish he had not given mixed signals. My problem with him was inconsistency. Interesting. Interesting. So if he's a kind of inconsistent person, if the rule is that he is going to be inconsistent, my sense here is that that's going to continue, right? Like if he's been inconsistent in the past. It's funny though, because the king of coins has the ability to be very consistent, but it's like because I feel like there's not a clear answer to the question, I'm going to go ahead and pull three more cards quickly here. And so I'm just going to pull three more cards to elaborate on the Eight of Wands. I want to know what is the sort of rule system that seems to sort of be blocking the way for him here. So let's pull those. The Star. 9 Wands, Interrupting, and Justice. Huh. So I think that there's definitely some feelings towards you. I say that because all of these wands also indicate passion, because we're starting off the reading with this Six of Cups, which often leads to a relationship, because we see the Star here, which is optimism and hope, and also is sort of about pouring yourself out to another person. But there's like this feeling the person has that like they can't, it's like a big set of X's, a big fence, and justice is sitting on the other side of it as if to wag their finger and say, no, you shouldn't do that. Ooh, interesting. Queen says he's got a good profession, but he's a bit egotistic and immature. I think I might be dodging a bullet here. Yeah. I think there's definitely something weird with him having and then like blocking it off, right? Like thinking he's going to be punished for it, or it would be like punished for reaching out to you, or that it wouldn't be fair, or that it would disrupt a balance, that kind of thing. So to answer your question in the most direct way, I think he's considering it, but something is holding him back, and so he's not. I think he probably won't actually take the action of reaching out. And I think we said in like a month, whatever the time frame was that I established at the beginning. Yeah, you don't need to give more details. Nope. That's enough. So I think probably not, but it very much looks to me like it could change, because him not reaching out isn't because he doesn't want to. It's because he's stopping himself from doing it. Right? There's a desire to do it. There's a passion there, but he's like stopping himself from taking the actual action of doing it. Okay, let me look at my chat. Okay, so Margaret Tonkara, you didn't have it in all caps, but you did ask to be added to the list right after Queen Bean. So if you are here, I will read for you. Otherwise, the next person on my list would be João Pedro Costa Calasa, if you are here. So João Pedro Costa Calasa has a question. I've never read about a celebrity before. So this is a new experience for me. I don't usually. And everyone, I just got a message that my internet connection is unstable, so I will try to keep live streaming. If I lose the connection, I apologize. I'm doing my best. So we're asking, will Lady Gaga perform at the MTV Video Music Awards 2025 at UBS Arena with 9 nominations? Okay, so we would only say yes to this if all of those things are true. That MTV Video Music Awards 2025 at UBS Arena, and that she will have exactly nine nominations. So I'll pull 3 cards and see what we get. About Lady Gaga. And also, since this is a predictive question, I don't think of my predictive future questions as predictions so much as I think of them as forecasts, right? So I'm not saying with any total certainty, but it's a fun question to ask nonetheless. Okay. Lady Gaga, what will you be doing the evening of the MTV Music Video Awards? 7 coins comes up again. So this is about wondering whether it's worth it or not. With this card, I always think someone has done something, like put in a bunch of work, made an investment, finished a project, and they're waiting to see if other people like it. They're waiting to see if it's going to pay off, and they have to accept whatever the results might be. The Hermit is someone who is searching for something, trying to find something. In the darkness, they've got their lantern up and they are taking steps forward, trying to accomplish something. And here's our Knight of Coins again, who is very slowly taking action, moving forward. So none of these particularly remind me of Lady Gaga. I don't know about you all. You know, the Star would have been really good to see here, I think. Maybe the Queen of Wands would have been good to see here. Or even like a Page of Wands, or any of the wands, except maybe not the King. Um, here we get a lot of slowness. They're all earth cards, right? Coins are earth, and the Hermit is an earth card, and earth is the slowest suit. It's also the most grounded suit. This is the slowest of the knights. The Hermit is looking back and they're wondering, has everything I've done this year been worth it? Right? Like they're holding their lantern up, trying to see if all of these coins are going to turn into anything good. And then they're moving here, going forward after another coin, right? So here's how I would read this. I'm gonna say I don't think all of those things will be true. I don't see a performance happening, right? Because uh, none of these are performing characters. Hermit is not doing a performance. They're looking for something. They're not performing something. The Knight of Coins is working towards something, but not, I wouldn't say performing. And so my thought here would be like there will be a certain number of nominations or awards given to Lady Gaga, right? But maybe she'll be looking for more or something better or different, and she will win something, right? Here's like an award, I would imagine. This representing like one of the awards that she gets. Um, I don't see anything about it being 9 of them, and I don't see a card again that would represent someone putting on a show, like a performance, right? So, my short answer to the question would be with all those specific, very specific and well articulated variables of 9 awards and putting on a performance, I don't think all of those things are going to be true. That's my answer based on these 3 cards that are coming up today. Of course, I don't know when this performance is, so I don't know how far out it would be, but it is, of course, subject to change. I kind of suspect that with things like that, especially if it's true that she has another engagement that night, I think I saw you putting that in the chat, then my thought is it's very subject to change because if both of the events are happening in New York, and I guess or LA, I guess I'm just assuming it's got to be in one of those 2 places. Like if she's already in the city where it's happening, maybe last minute they convince her to perform. But I would say based on what's happening in the cards right now, probably unlikely to happen. Okay, it's September 7th, so June, July, August. So it's like 3 months away. So it could very much change if they had, it may not actually be decided yet. And maybe the Hermit is indicating searching for the right conditions to make all of this stuff happen and very slowly working towards the best possible outcome. But reading these cards as describing what's actually going to happen that night, um, I wouldn't say a performance. I wouldn't say a performance. Okay, let me see who I have next. I think it's Ari. Is that right? Ari, the beautiful Aries princess? If you are here, I can read for you. Yay, there's Ari. Okay. So Ari wants to know, is there someone planning to ask me out on a date right now? Is there someone right now who is planning to ask Ari out on a date? And then, so I'm just doing single questions today for the sake of time, Ari. So I'm going to pull three cards for that question. Is someone planning to ask you out on a date? And then if there's any indication in the cards that it might be someone you already know or someone new that you've never met, or if there's like a court card that comes up, I can try to describe the person to you. So I'll give you as much information as I can from the three cards. Let's see what we get. Is someone planning to ask Ari out on a date? And we're talking about like pretty soon. Like, are they thinking about it right around now? Okay, welcome to anyone who might be joining. My name's Will, and I'm just doing some spontaneous tarot readings today. I'm going to start winding down. Anyone who's already requested a reading in the chat, I will read for if you're still here. I do think I'm probably going to not add any more because I need to wind it down. I decided today to test out my new temporary live streaming setup. And so that's the purpose of today. And I have succeeded at that purpose. It works. And so I'm happy to find that out. So we're asking the question, is someone planning to ask out Ari on a date? Let's see. The Hermit, again, you all saw me shuffle these cards, right? The Hermit has popped up. So this could be someone who's lonely and searching for a human connection. Six Wands, that's collaborating together, working together to do something very passionate. And a King of Swords. So let me just take a sip of water. So I'm going to say yes. I would read. Maybe the internet has come back. I don't know. I no longer have the "your connection is unstable" pop up. So I'm hoping maybe that means it's come back, but I'm also not very confident that that is true.